So the Federal Reserve, Mr. Powell, has said it may be difficult to obtain mortgages in certain areas of the United States. Let's cover that particular topic today, and we're getting after it right now. And welcome to the Living in Utah channel. I'm Mike Gallagher, a local real estate agent, and if this is your first time to my channel, you may consider tapping that subscribe button down below and hitting that bell notification. YouTube will send you an alert every time I release a new video. So the head of the Federal Reserve, Mr. Powell, a lot of people know him for interest rates. He is the man that sets what the interest rates will be for your credit cards, your home loans, etc. They look at a bunch of data and determine if they are going to raise or lower the federal fund rate. So Mr. Powell came out and said, mortgages will be difficult, if not impossible, to secure in some high-risk areas in the future. That's a very bold statement, and it possibly is a little bit shocking. If you can't get a mortgage on a property in some areas, how will you be able to own a home? And it is a bold statement, but I think it possibly may be true, especially in the future. Both banks and insurance companies are pulling out of some of the coastal areas where we are experiencing a lot of floods and fires. Comes to mind would be states like California. We've had wildfires for many years that has burned a good portion of the state. Here in the state of Utah, we're well aware of the fires. When those fires sometimes occur, the smoke just comes straight across. Yes, it comes from California all the way over to Utah, and there has been times where our air quality is just a pits. In the red area, you can smell the smoke outside. So we've got a lot of wildfires in California, a lot of storms coming through Florida, North Carolina, Louisiana. A lot of that coastal area has been hit over the last quite a few years, causing a lot of destruction. So what does it mean for the future? Let's fast forward maybe 5, 10, 15 years. There may be regions of the country where you cannot get a mortgage. Mortgage companies require insurance on the property so if there is a disaster, they will get paid for the mortgage debt. If insurance companies continue pulling out and there are fewer and fewer and fewer options for insurance in some of these areas, it won't be long before mortgage companies decide it might be a little too risky for us to put mortgages on homes in certain areas. And in some of these areas, it's very expensive to get insurance at the current time. I was just recently talking to somebody from the state of Florida, and they said that their insurance went from like $3,000 to $5,000 to $7,000, and currently the new estimate is approximately $11,000, $12,000. About $1,000 a month to insure their property in the state of Florida. I don't know about you, but if I'm paying an extra $1,000 a month, I would like that going on to a loan, something that possibly you're building equity in, as opposed to insurance companies where, when you're done paying the insurance, there is no refund. Insurance companies do not provide a refund, not that I'm aware of. In comparison, here in the state of Utah, I pay $750 for home insurance, and that's for the entire year. So if I had to pay an extra $1,000 a month on top of my current payment, that would definitely raise my total bills. And in some of these areas, I always have the question, with the companies that are left insuring properties in, say, Florida, California, how good is the insurance? Sometimes we don't know until we actually need them. When a disaster happens and we have to claim on the policy, will they pay out? Will they pay fair market value? Or will they pay contractor prices to rebuild the home? And that's the other problem. In some of these areas that have seen a lot of disasters, typically The contractor prices go way, 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 way up because there's a stack of work. I can't even imagine the amount of work right now that is available in the state of California. So as construction companies get busy, they typically raise their prices. Will your insurance company cover these prices? That's my question. Also, will some of these insurance companies write policies where they don't cover wildfires or storms that come across, etc., etc.? In the little fine print down there, will they restrict some of those items? Good question. And in some of these areas, Florida comes to mind, there are many retirees that are going with no insurance. They've paid off their home, they're in the retirement years on a fixed income, and the insurance rates have just gone up and up and up, and they've had to cut the bill. They just cannot afford to put insurance on their home anymore. Basically rolling the dice. If a storm comes through and takes everything they got, they will literally be homeless. So in the particular article that I was reading, there was a question and answer session where some lawmakers were asking different questions, and they mentioned that a couple lawmakers in their particular state has seen a 40% increase in insurance over the last 7 years. And they said it was mostly due to climate change and extreme weather events. So these particular states were not Florida or California. This was just some other states where they're noticing rates going up and up and up. So it makes me wonder what possibly can be done. As I was researching the topic, some people recommended in some areas that are below sea level, maybe build homes on stilts. But the problem with that is it's a little too late. There's a lot of homes in those coastal areas that, they're already existing. You can't really take a home and put it on a stilt. It's a little too late. But in the wildfire areas, say California or Colorado, there are materials that are less flammable. I came across a story in Colorado. A few years ago, you might remember they had a massive wildfire in the mountain area just next to Denver. Took out a lot of homes. Well, there was a home that the individual built out of certain materials, etc., that were less prone to burning. And the homes all around him burned to the ground, but his home was still standing. So I don't know the exact details inside and out, but if we could possibly build some homes with some materials that have less chance of being flammable, might be a good option. And I guess when it comes to insurance, maybe we could have a federal government home insurance policy possibly that would cover every single state so you can spread the cost out through all the states that we have. That does come with some challenges. I would imagine in areas like mine, the rates would probably have to go up to compensate for some other areas around the country. Also, sometimes when the government decides to enact policies like this, it sometimes doesn't work out too well. But maybe that's an option. Maybe we should have insurance policies by the federal government and do the same thing that insurance companies do to help spread the cost. Love to know in the comments down below some of your ideas. Do you think that it will continue? Do you think that there are areas where we will not be able to obtain mortgages and also purchase insurance for our properties? Love to know in the comments down below.